Okay, looks like we're live now, and that's very cool. So thanks everyone here. You're here at Code for Life, and this is Bruno Souza, and we are here. We're always with good ideas and good things that you can do to improve your career, right? And one of the cool things about improving your career is that once you focus on improving your career, then you bring everyone with you. That's a cool thing about when you grow in your career, everyone in your project grows with you. Everyone around you grows with you, and there is a good case to be made that actually the more great developers that we have in our industry, the better it's going to be for everyone, right? So because of that, I have here a very special person that does an amazing project, right? So I'm here with Christal. Hi, Christal. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Okay, cool. So we are here in Houston, and this is the previous to last city of the tour that I'm doing around the U.S. I've been talking with very cool people and very cool developers. And Christal is work for a great project that's TILS. TILS is an organization that, tell us what TILS does, right?
Absolutely. TEAL stands for Technology, Education, and Literacy in Schools. And what we do is we partner software developers with high school teachers in the United States, high school teachers, so they can teach rigorous computer science education in the classroom.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
right?
And it's needed because most high schools don't offer computer science in the United States.
Right, and a lot of the reason, so that's so cool because now not only you can do something that's cool, you can actually go and share the things that but you're going to be helping build the next generation of software developers. And so the whole thing about you improving your career and then bringing everyone with you, one of the cool things that you can actually bring in kids from everywhere. And the cool thing is that you're talking about not every school teaches computer science, but one of the reasons why schools don't teach computer science is that most of teachers have no idea how to teach that. They might even have the skills of being a teacher, but knowing about computer science itself is quite hard. It's two different things. So
absolutely, absolutely.
So do you think that those guys that are watching us, they're like job developers? They can help out the teachers somehow?
Absolutely, they can help out the teachers. And one of the things I want to say why it's so difficult, Bruno, is because software developers not going into education, they make so much more money being a software developer than being a coder and wanting to teach. And so that's why the disadvantage is, but they can still help. And the way they can help is through TEALS. And we are right now recruiting software developers through April and May to be able to partner with our schools that have applied to be TEALS partner schools. And so we're looking for developers across the United States. We are in 29 states right now, and over 600 schools have already applied to be TEALS schools for this year.
Cool, but let me understand this thing, right? So you're talking about the schools and partner with teachers and all of that, but we are at work. We got our jobs, and what is that we're gonna do? Is that kind of help out the teachers? What exactly do we do to help out?
Absolutely, that's a great question. What we do is we ask our partner schools to schedule their class that they're partnering with us first period of the day.
Okay.
And first period starts at different times for different schools, but all classes have to be done by 9:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And as you know, most software engineers aren't really early risers necessarily getting to their job, so they can help out at one of our schools and then go on to their day job. So their current job is not affected, but they have a chance to really impact the students and the teachers.
Cool.
And what they do is they're offering their services, their knowledge in a pro bono type way. So they are able to teach and get the teacher up to speed in the subject. And then once that seed is planted, then that teacher now can teach for the rest of their time. It typically takes a couple of years of mentoring, and the teachers then are available to teach for them on.
Cool, that's so cool. So basically, you see, a lot of times, one of the things that I tell everyone is that for you to improve your career, there are 5 things you got to do as a software developer that you got to do every day, right? You got to read code, you got to write code, you got delivery codes, those are kind of the obvious ones. And then you got to solve problems, because that's the main thing that we do as software developer. And the fifth thing you got to do to be a great software developer is that you have to share what you know, right? Because sharing, you learn how to, you learn communication skills. Software is a people, for people, by people, with people, everything people kind of thing, right? So, being able to structure your thought, being able to structure your ideas and share to others, it's very important that you do every day. So now what Teals is offering is a chance that instead of you being afraid, or you kind of have this crazy audience of lots of developers and you don't know what to talk about, you have this unique opportunity of every day, not necessarily every day, it's like not every day, but like several times a week or a couple of times a week, you come in early in the morning and you have a class full of children, high school children, not children reading, it's like
they're high school
teenagers, right? It's
teenagers.
high school teenagers. They're eager to learn, and you're going to have a teacher there that's going to help you out, manage the class, and you can go and you share the things that you know to this group. I mean, that's an amazing opportunity.
It is, and I tell you, a lot of our developers will tell us that it helps their careers when they go back into the workforce, when they're back at their jobs. And how it really helps is they're able to communicate better. They're able to present in front of groups. They're not as scared anymore, and it really builds their confidence. So not only being able to affect students and teachers and mentor and really change trajectories of their lives, they're actually improving themselves. Just what you've been talking about today.
Exactly. So that's the whole thing. So and it's in a much nicer situation. You know that we don't have Teals in Brazil, right? But one of the things that I do, and that's maybe you think like, oh come on, that's high school. So one of the things that I do is that every single presentation that I create, right? I call in. I know all the teachers from technical schools near my house, right? So they have like high school, but they teach programming, and so I call the teachers from everyone around my house, and I go there. So we kind of present the presentation I'm going to make later. I present for those students first, and so they comment on my presentation, they like it or they don't like, and it's cool because high school students, they're totally able to understand everything you're saying, right? And so if you're able to teach them, it's going to be a lot easier for you to actually teach a wide audience. So that's very, very cool idea.
Very good. And the other thing I want to share with you, Bruno, is it's really important, even if students don't go into computer science, they need to know the basics of computational thinking in today's economy and today's society. And one little quick anecdote I'd like to share with you is I was actually in a school observing one of our classes, one of our Teals classes, and the volunteer that was in the classroom was a Google engineer, and she was asking the students, how do the students know that the library across the street was trafficked most during the lunch hour? And the students didn't know. And so they started talking, and the students said, well, maybe they count us. No, that wasn't it. And finally, one student raised up their phone and said, phones? And the rich discussion that happened after that was really important, because it surprised me what came next is they weren't happy. They said, well, they never asked us.
Right.
So now what do we do if we don't want to be counted? And so it was really good to understand that kids, even though they use the technology, they're not creators of it. And so they need to have these foundational computational thinking skills to really be in the economy of today.
Right. And it's very true, because there's a lot of very important discussions that, ethical discussions and everything that we have to do, and even technical discussions that we have that, that those kids are going to be the ones that are going to make the decision in the future. And, the more they understand how things are, and this is good or bad, it's a discussion, right? And the fact that Google, for example, tracks our phones, that's what allows us to actually beat traffic with applications like Waze, for example, right? And so there's a lot of things that are good, but then you have all this question like, oh, they didn't ask us, right? So it's great that you have this, and being part of the other thing that I see a lot is that when you're talking with high school students, a lot of times, because they don't have the preconceptions? No.
You mean being able to be?
No. They don't have this concepts, right? The concepts are not built, so they see a lot of things are possible,
right?
And a lot of times we think, oh, that's not possible because we're doing it, and so they ask questions and they propose ideas. They're like, we thought it was not possible, but think about it. Maybe it is. Maybe we can think about it. Yep. So it's so cool to discuss those kind of things.
The other thing too is we know here in the United States, if students are not exposed to computer science, they're not going to go into this field.
Right.
So we know it's really important to be able to access them young and early. And the other thing that's really important in the field is we notice there's not enough women and underrepresented minorities. And so TEALS is really taking an active part, making sure there is equity and access on classes across the United States. And so we, how do you know who's going to want to code? You want to give them the chance to see if they like it. Yep.
It's very cool. So it's a very good project. But now, okay, so the project's great. It's mostly for people in the U.S., right?
Right now, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Right now, we're in the United States.
Right. So it's mostly for people in the U.S., but and it can be anywhere, right? You said you have like 600 schools.
Yeah, over 600 schools have applied for this upcoming school year, and right now we're in 29 states in the District of Columbia.
Okay.
And go to our website to take a look, because if you look at our website under volunteers,
right,
you'll be able to see all the different schools and where the states that we're at.
Okay.
And if you're interested, certainly fill out a contact card. But what we're really needing right now is volunteers. So the software developers is what we're really asking for. We really want you to think about it and go to our website, take a look at the volunteers tab to see if you think it's a fit, because we are looking across the United States, not only in the classrooms, Bruno, but we have a huge need for remote schools, because our rural schools don't have software developers generally in those areas. And so we have a successful proven program where we teleconference those software engineers in, and it really makes a difference.
All right, so now, we're talking all about being in person, but now you open up the possibility for everyone, right?
Absolutely.
Because even though I said it was in the U.S., but even if you're someone outside of the U.S., but you want to participate on this, and you can do remote, and maybe sometimes even better because maybe you're outside of the U.S. and then you're in different time zone. So actually, it can really help the kids in the U.S. time zone, for example.
Well, that's an interesting thought, because we have not had any volunteers outside of the U.S.
Of course, because you keep talking about the U.S., right? So now I know. I just found out the information right now. So now I'm taking out from her, right? So now that we understand that you can actually do this, so go to tealsk12.org. That is the URL, and then you can apply, and look how interesting that is. Right now, you can actually, if you're outside of the U.S., you can improve your English, because like 2-3 times a week, you're actually going to be speaking English with people. You will improve. A lot of them, they speak English.
Well, we do interview. So that's part of it. And I have to tell you, Bruno, we've never had any international volunteers.
Oh, that's going to be great. That's going to be so great.
Don't know where that goes.
She's going to start having international. Once she starts doing this, she's going to find out, because I work with you guys, right? It's been such a great work with everyone. So you can practice your English. You can become, you can help out people here in the U.S. Maybe you can have even a professional experience in the U.S. because of doing this.
Well, the other thing, just thinking about that, is we have what we call consultants. So, there's other areas where we can connect and say, we want to know more about your job.
Cool.
So right now what we do, I just want to clarify though, in the remote aspect.
She's kind of scared that you guys are going to apply and that she's not going to know what you do. So that's what we got to do, right? We got to help them make this leap, because that's going to be great.
That's too funny. But what our remote volunteers are is they actually can be either at work or at their home. And they remote in. And so typically we try to stay in the same time zone, just because of needing to be, honor their work, getting to their work. But they remote in, and that makes a huge difference in our rural schools. And so we're looking to up our participation in our rural schools. So right now what we're looking at is our developers. We're doing an all-call and saying,
let's figure out, if you want to apply, if you want to participate, get in contact with them, because if it doesn't work, but I'm pretty sure it will, right? And so I think it's a great idea. it can help you. If you are in the U.S. and you're one of these 29 states, it's a great idea because you're going to be right in front of the high school students. You're going to actually be able to come in person, and it's a lot more interesting to be in person because you can see, you can see the reaction of the students. You can really interact with them. You can improve your skills. If you can't be in person, there's a possibility for you to do online, and then maybe that can open up the opportunity for people all over the world to help and participate. And one of the things, if you are someone outside of the United States, maybe just by joining the TILS program, you're going to learn how maybe you could do this with your school, right? Maybe you could do this in a school, and the lights just went off here, so that's why it got a little bit darker. But maybe you can just kind of go and do some similar things in your school, because I'm sure there are schools near you that would totally love to have something like this. And even if it's not part of the TILS program, just the idea of you being able to help out, like I do with the technical schools near my area, all of this is going to be a great way for you to have a great career.
And that's how our founder started out. He was a software developer, and he also had his master's in education in Harvard, and he swung by the local school to teach the first period computer science class. And of course, other schools found out about it and wanted the assistance. So it grew from there. He had to, get some of his Microsoft buddies to help. And we are now across the United States. Cool. So that's something to consider if other folks want to in their countries. Think about helping at your local schools.
Maybe you can create a similar organization near you. And that by itself could be a totally amazing career move and career experience. So there's a lot of good ideas here. And thanks a lot, Christal, for this conversation. And again, if you are in the US, tilsk12.org, join there. There's a volunteer tab that you can apply. And if you're not from the US, maybe you can create something near your house, and that's going to be great.
Thank you, Bruno.
Thanks a lot, Christal. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Good to talk to you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Awesome.
Cool. Excellent.